Hello, and welcome back to the Security YouTube channel. And today we're going to be dispelling one of those myths. One of those myths in cybersecurity that you have to be technical to work in the cybersecurity field. Just a little background, a little bit about the channel is that one thing that we do here is that we normalize struggling in cybersecurity. Normalize the struggle, normalize the vulnerabilities, normalize the failures in order to get into the field and to stay in the field and to be successful here. So back to the subject of non-technical roles in cybersecurity, and we're going to highlight one of these job titles, one of these roles, and it's called that of a cybersecurity program manager. Now, what is that? What is that? Let's take a couple of steps back. We were talking about the cybersecurity program manager role, and we're going to go directly to the Project Management Institute for the definition of what a project manager is as a whole. And they define it as an individual who is a change agent, Let's get more into the definition where it says they make project goals their own and use their skills and expertise to inspire a sense of shared purpose within the project team, right? Very high level, a lot of information there, but let's go ahead and digest it and break it down piece by piece. Really, when I summarize the idea of what a project manager does, is that I see them as driving the fulfillment of project promises. So say, for instance, there are promises saying that we will deliver at this time, we're gonna do this, we're gonna accomplish this. A project manager is a role that helps to fulfill all of those promises and bring it to fruition. So let's look at one of these projects that might happen within an enterprise organization, maybe the organization that you're working at currently. So let's just take an example of that of a password management type of project. Your organization is having issues with individuals forgetting their password. This happens often. They're forgetting their passwords, they're getting locked out of their accounts, and they're not able to deliver on business needs and business operations. I mean, I can understand how a CEO or a CISO would have an issue with that. People cannot accomplish their work because they're forgetting their passwords. A cybersecurity project aligned with that might be to deploy a single sign-on type of solution across the enterprise so that when organizations or when people sign into their accounts, they're gaining access to a whole lot of resources. They might get into their Workday. They might be able to get into their email system. They might be getting into some other things with Salesforce. A single sign-on solution would be considered one of those cybersecurity projects for enterprise organization. So they're getting together all their technical resources. They might be getting together those cybersecurity network engineers, people who would deploy this across the whole network within the organization. They might be getting together subject matter experts in technical resources. They might be getting together executives who have to sign off on what those financials are. But another big resource, another big individuals that will help to drive this project is that of a cybersecurity program manager. Now let's get into some requirements. When I've been scouring Indeed and Glassdoor and LinkedIn, and I'm looking at those cybersecurity program manager roles, I'm seeing some prerequisites or some requirements for these roles in the form of certifications or degrees. So two of the certifications that I've seen that have been the most common is that of the PMP, or the Project Management Professional Certification. That's been one that has been on the list, and it's administered by that Project Management Institute, and also the Projects in Controlled Environments, or called the Prince 2 certification. Those are two of the major certifications, and typically the Prince 2 is there within the UK. That's very common for program managers or project managers in the UK. And PMP can be anywhere, but both of them carry very similar weights in certifications for project managers. Another one that I see is that of MBAs, Masters of Business Administration. Right, these individuals can understand the business workings, have went through a degree program in the form of a master's, and those are also on a lot of those cybersecurity program manager or project manager. I keep interchanging the two, but cybersecurity project manager job roles. So those are some of the certification or credential requirements that I see for some of those roles. let's talk about skills. I think that one of those skills that I've seen when I've worked with project managers, cybersecurity project managers, is that of organization. Right? These individuals have to be highly organized, have to be able to kind of synthesize a lot of information into an organized manner in order to get to those project goals. So they might use different tools like teams. They might be setting up teams and organizing the different teams groups and giving user access and keeping track of deliverables. But they also have to be cognizant of time, right? Organizing the time of the resources that they are managing for a particular project. I think another one here is that of soft skills. Soft skills are extremely important because at times those technical individuals have devoted so much time into their technical expertise to the point where that ability to communicate, that ability to translate the technical details into something digestible to a large group of individuals is kind of difficult. So a lot of times those cybersecurity program managers or cybersecurity project managers need to be very skilled in communicating those technical concepts to not only those technical resources, but also those who might be in the C-suite or executives. So they need to be able to translate and be able to communicate effectively across a large, broad, kind of like an atmosphere of individuals. And I think also of managing finances and budgets, right? Because projects, there's typically, well, not typically, it's always a dollar amount associated with many of these projects. So this project manager must understand how much time is being dedicated to certain tasks, if they can be on track for when this thing is budgeted for, and really what is the goal, and maybe some losses there, right? You might even hear some things called scope creep, right? So these are some concepts that of a cybersecurity program manager or project manager needs to be very cognizant of as it concerns skills. And I know you hear me saying project or program manager. A lot of that does have a lot of bleed over between the two roles. So that's some of the reason why you're hearing me saying both. Okay, some benefits of a cybersecurity project manager is that I think it's industry agnostic. I mean, it doesn't matter what industry you work in, because if there are cybersecurity projects existing, then many times a cybersecurity project manager can exist in that organization. So you can work in a plethora of industries. I mean, whether it's that of automotive, whether it's that of real estate, whether it's that of banking, whether it's that of industry. If there's a cybersecurity project that exists, a cybersecurity project manager will exist within that organization. So you are very industry agnostic, meaning that you have a lot of demand, that there's demand for your skill set is in many different industries, which can decrease your issues with finding a job. Streamlines into upper management roles. Many times project managers, individuals who are driving goals or driving projects to its completion, these individuals many times have a streamline or a pathway into upper management roles. Because when you drive projects to success, you also have the ability to drive teams to success or drive overall organizations to success. So these project managers can get to upper management and executive roles with a lot of ease. A lot of times that is on the pathway to becoming an individual who's at a leadership role or executive role within organizations. That's another one of the benefits. And another one here, and here I want to point this out, is that of salaries. Let's jump into Glassdoor, one of our favorite salary resources here. And when you look at project manager for cybersecurity salaries, we are looking at around starting at $86K for cybersecurity project manager roles. And the good thing about this is that we have a lot of good data because it says there are over 144,180 submissions, right? Self-submissions to the cybersecurity project manager roles. And this is the average salary that we're seeing here as a base pay. So you will not be hungry in most places in the United States with this salary. Very good salary for cybersecurity project managers. I think another good thing that we see here that I wanted to point out is that what is the salary trajectory for a project manager, right? And we're seeing here that this is that project manager overall salary, but you can go to a senior project manager. And just like I said before, a leader, right? Someone who is an executive or a leader or a director or a senior manager, that leads directly to those type of roles for cybersecurity project managers. So that's that here. Salaries is the final benefit that I want to point out to you. But I don't want to just leave you here with the information that I'm giving you, because I've never worked as a cybersecurity project manager. I've had some of those responsibilities for some different engagements and some different work that I've done as a consultant. But I do want to point you to a resource, and I want to point you here for the infosecinstitute.com website, where they did a whole showcase of a lady. Her name is Jackie Olshak, and as you see, PMP, that's one of those cybersecurity or those project manager certifications. She goes into depth about what she does from a day to day. She breaks down a lot of the concepts that I gave to you, and I want to point you here. This resource will be there in the comment section or the description of this video. And as I always say, hopefully this has been valuable to you. Cybersecurity project managers, you don't have to be a technical person. You don't have to be hands on the keyboard. I have dispelled that to you. I've left you with a resource, and hopefully this has been valuable. And come along again where we normalize struggling in cybersecurity. Thank you, and come back again. And also subscribe and hit the bell before you go. Thank you.